I do not know. I do not know if that worked or not. Did it work? I have no idea. This is absolutely insane. Oh, it worked? Did it? Oh, okay. Oh! That was wet. Ian, welcome in. Sociable Steve, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Oh my gosh. Ryan, hey, I need mental strength. Help. This is a safe space for you, Ryan, if you need it. Welcome in, everyone. We have restarted the stream in order to give you the best possible quality. So yeah, we are now officially going to start the stream. So let's do this. I'll be right back. 1 second. Here we go.
Welcome, your host, Maddie Two Shoes.
Welcome, friends. We're back. We're back. It's Monday. I'm streaming again. Welcome, friends. We finally figured it out. Sort of. So what's interesting is Twitch is still telling me that I am streaming at 9,000 something kilobits. Throw all the paper balls. I want them all. Or not. Ah, no, hold on. Twitch is telling me. Oh, lumens. Vision trouble. You had vision trouble, Flyboy. Over 9,000. Over 9,000. Oh, you want me to? I can't possibly do them together. No, I can't possibly do them together, Flyboy. That's not proper. With the glasses? Ah. Have you been ever sitting at your desk wondering if you are the most appropriate streamer to look at your data and look at your charts, and you are questioning everything in your life and you have no idea how you're supposed to use your channel points and entertain your chat, and it's all becoming very difficult? And if TTS is playing in the background but your stream doesn't hear it because you've disabled all the audio sources and you have no idea how you're actually supposed to be streaming, then you definitely need just the numbers. Oh no, someone did it. Someone actually triggered. Yep, it was TV, wasn't it? Congratulations! You have unlocked the secret ad, the one that makes no sense to anyone. My product is not finished yet. I plan to work at it on stream today, but if you just want to do shenanigans, then you have come to the right place. I look like I'm completely wasted in this. I can't even tell you, chat, how much I'm convinced that you need my product. I'm going to be working on this product today, so if you're interested in learning more, then just go to the website below, justinnumbers.com, and see what we're going to be working on today. And that's really all I have for you today, chat. Yeah. So okay, let's get things started properly. Flyboy, I really think you have too many channel points. I think you have too many channel points. Honestly, I think you have too many channel points. Oh, that's not good. Am I in black and white? Wait 1 second. That's not good. Okay, that's better. I have to make sure it's reset for the next ad. You were gonna mess it up if TD didn't. Yeah, of course. Welcome in, product. Flyboy, I'm glad that you're loving the channel point redemptions. What's interesting about the stream is I started the stream with the same settings that I had previously streamed to Twitch, and Twitch told me, your settings are great, they're perfect. And then I just unchecked the box for, you know, stream test, and then went live, and I don't know what happened, chat. Ryan, do you know what's over 9,000 MyD pages of the Oxford Dictionary? Karen read it, but it was while we were in the ad scene, so I don't think people heard it, which is fine. It's totally fine. Welcome in, everybody. A lot of things have changed since I last streamed, and many things are the same. That's what, you know, that's the reality. You can still drop, that is correct. The drop game still works. It is still warm in here. It's between 27 and 28 degrees Celsius in here. Yes, I will put on tiny hands, Flyboy, because that's obviously what you'd like to see. Hence the redemption for hands-on. Welcome in, everyone. If you redeemed first or not first, or I don't know what, congratulations. Yeah, tropical indeed. It's too... I just landed in my own stream again. Yeah, tropical indeed. There is some problem with our cooling system in our building since about a year. They haven't fixed it yet, and it has reached this point now where it is almost intolerable. Thank you for the bit, Rugmat, kicking things off with that lovely little salty bit. Yeah, it has become intolerable, and it doesn't matter what we do, like whether we open the doors during the day when it's like 17 or 18 degrees. Like today we had a thunderstorm and it was really cool outside. It was like 17 or 18, and I opened all the windows and aired the place, and it dropped like a degree or something. It went down to like 26. There's something just fundamentally wrong with the system. The system needs to change, people. Yeah, anyway. So it's pretty bad. During the day, I need to wear a towel on my head, which my co-founder has remarked in our calls makes me look absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I need to I need to Irish Beats riot. 4 months of rioting. Thank you so much, Beats, for subscribing for 4 months in a row. That's very kind of you, Beats. I appreciate that very much. Owlhead redeem. Yeah, I suppose we could do... Oh, no, wait. Might be a bit racist, no? If we call it Towelhead. I don't know. Is it racist somehow? Is it offensive? Yes, I've been wearing it. I've been wearing a cool a towel with, like, you know, I wet it first, and then it's a bit risky. It's risky, isn't it? It's a bit risky. It is literally what I've been doing, though. I've been wetting a towel and then putting it on my head and just draping it over myself while I work, because I have no resistance to heat, chat. This is the problem. Wet Maddie is better than dry Maddie. Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, I think I just prefer to be cool and not wet. That's the main thing, is I prefer to be cool and not wet. So what is happening is we have engaged our legal insurance. In Switzerland, we have a lovely system where you can pay money every year to an insurance company. I'd rather live in -5 outside temperature every day than go above 20. Vicious, you and I are the same. I would rather live in -5 degree temperatures than have the temperature go over 20 degrees. Absolutely. You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel. Well, I mean, I put my headphones in and then the towel is over my head, you know? So it's okay. But ultimately, it is a problem. It really is a problem. It's really a problem. So, yeah. In Switzerland, we have this thing called legal insurance where you pay a couple $100 a year and then you have access to legal insurance when, you know, when there's like...
You just drop in, just smack the lip, whoop, drop down, snap,
I wish I could be as chill as him, to be honest. Or get ice cream.
Mayor Bowser and Chancellor Farabee. You know, thank you for joining us as well.
Ice cream.
And for families
It's actually a good
across the
idea.
country,
Ice cream is actually a good idea. Yeah, so basically, thank you for putting a towel in the background. Basically, we have this legal insurance and they kind of fight things on your behalf, or they advise you about what your possibilities are, and they write all the letters and that kind of stuff. And a lot of people in Switzerland take legal insurance because things are extremely complicated here, and it just makes sense because out of pocket, like if you want to like pay for legal proceedings, it's like 20-30 grand just off the bat for all the lawyers and stuff like that. So it just makes sense to take legal insurance. Thank you for changing the lights, friends. So yeah, so we activated our legal insurance, and that should get really interesting. Should get very interesting, because basically legal insurance is now going to write our building management and tell them, hey, it's been a year and you've tried all this stuff and the problem hasn't been fixed yet, and it's still like 27 degrees in the apartment. So now we're going to stop paying you the rent, and we're going to be putting this rent, instead of in your account, we're going to be paying it into this official holding account, which is like from the state kind of, and then you don't get to see any of that rent until you solve the issue. And on top of that, you will have to pay back a certain amount of rent for this entire time that we haven't had full functional use of our apartment. And that's several thousand francs at this point of rent. So yeah, we've escalated it because basically it's been a year and we're sick of it. As you said, Ryan, destroy them. Destruction. Yeah. So thanks for all the good vibes and paper balls and changing lights. I assume that's all in support, which is great. If you want to support me financially, then you can just Patreon. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to do that. I am Optimus Amazon Prime. Your packages shall not be delivered. While those lights are still going. How many redeems did you do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lot of redeems. Yeah, so I've launched Patreon. So if you do want to, if you do want to support in that way, that's always very welcome. I always appreciate it. Oh look, it's Bezos.
Same day delivery. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world.
Is he though still? That's the question. It may not be correct, but it's okay. Ryan, congratulations on your new job. I wouldn't stress too much. I'm sure the expectations will be very reasonable for your first day, or even beyond your first day. I think it will be very, very reasonable, so I would not be concerned, Ryan. Oh, Ellen, yeah, Ellen is most rich. Although it depends on how you measure wealth, right? This is the thing. Dr. Dynamite, welcome in. How buttery smooth does this look? There's something I need to do first. Okay, we need to shout out B1 Mind because we got raided earlier.
We're gonna take a detour real quick. I want to show Ben what I came up with. It's so sad. No, to be honest with you, I spent like 5 minutes and I was like, I got frustrated.
Okay. What's this gonna be?
Did my cheer alert not work?
Ooh, is that Miro? No, that's Stream Elements.
It's a work of art. But it will happen. It will take shape. So remember this now.
That
And then
looks
you
incredible.
can remember what I give you when I put my foot to the Figma, so to speak, but
That's
I don't know
hilarious.
why I showed you that. I was laughing. I showed it the other day. I was laughing at myself. So cheer didn't work.
That's a long clip. Is that your only clip? Because it played a gaming clip earlier, so I wasn't sure. Like, because your last stream was this Svelte kit thing, which I hope you had a great stream by B1 Mind. B1 Mind rated me at the beginning of my stream when my stream was entirely black and no one could see anything. So it's a bit unfair. So I thought I would do a shout out now to properly recognize the raid and say thank you. And now you can see me and all that stuff. Yes, welcome in Dr. Dynamite. So nice to see you. You have a game clip from Far Cry 6. Ah, okay. I actually never played Far Cry 6. I was really into which one was it? Now I'm trying to remember. I think it was 4 with the alligators. Was 4 with the alligators? It's so difficult. It's so difficult because they're all like jungle, kind of. Jungle is massive. Thank you for the bit, Rugman, by the way. Appreciate it. Yeah, so B1 Mind, I hope you had a cool stream. I'll definitely have to check you out because I have not caught your streams until now. Jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked. I'm glad someone got the reference. Character, so var car is variable.
Ooh,
character.
it's this one.
Or something.
It's the
I don't know.
Charmander one.
Who knows? Splashly, welcome back. You mean Carmander? Oh no, I said Carmander! No! Oh no! Oh my god, no way! How did
Can't
you
believe
do
that happened.
noob? That's randomized! How did you do that? What?
Carmander.
That's incredible. 1 in 9 chance.
Respecta.
1 in 9 chance. That is incredible, noob. That was super impressive. Okay,
Oh,
very cool.
it's Mongosaurus! Mongosaurus!
Oh, actually, the Pokemon scene is not above that scene with the shout out. Really? That's interesting. Oh, okay, yeah, I probably did that for a reason. So Ian, you're watching without video. Yes, so chat, you have new options available to you in your badges menu. You can select whether you are consuming the stream audio only or video only, which is very interesting for me because it lets me know that you're not seeing something. So like Ian, for example, I know that Ian dropped and I can tell Ian because I can see that Ian is watching the stream without video. I can tell Ian, hey Ian, you did not land, by the way. I will drop now. I'm watching with video, just thought the badge looked pretty. Well, don't mislead me now. You can't mislead me like that. You can't mislead the streamer. That's not right, Ian. That's savage. Savage.svg. Did I land again? Did I always land in my own stream, chat? So yeah, a lot has happened, chat. We need to get through some updates before we start the actual stuff. Send the legal team. Yeah, accessibility legal team. We need to send the accessibility legal team. All right, so Twitch telling me that the stream is stable, so that's good. Wonderful. Welcome in UK, welcome in TD, welcome in Rugmat, welcome in Sociable Steve, welcome in Sad Salami Rose. Did you just shout out Pokemon? TD.
Wicked. Can we bake along with Cutie today? Bitch, how do you want me to bake in my stream room?
I don't want Pokemon shoutouts. Like, I don't have any problem with her, just to be very clear. But like, what? We don't need to draw more attention to big streamers. Oh yeah, she's always in my chat. Pokemian's always in my chat. Socialable Steve. Welcome in Sad Salami Rose, Sociable Steve, Apple Pie Chart, everyone else who's here. Always in Maddie's DMs. B1 Mind, Bendy Myers, Dryson, Erica, Hellraiser, Beats, Jens, J Hody, King, Lana, Ryan, Vicious. Welcome to all of you. Very nice to see you all. I'm not calling out lurkers, by the way. I'm saying hello to everyone. It's very different. So yeah, a lot has happened. A lot has happened since I last streamed. I took a week off, which the timing was actually really good, to be honest. Not gonna lie, timing was really good. I anyway would have had to cancel Friday's stream because I went down to my parents. My parents live in the south part of Switzerland, which is around 3.5 hour drive, and I left Friday afternoon, so I would have needed to cancel Friday's stream anyway, so the timing was okay.
You could get a projection, yeah, that could work.
Steve only has one clip, Roadman. I need to fix 1 second. There's one thing here. Ducking shoutout. What is the shoutout thing called?
Just goes there.
Sorry, I made a mistake, chat. I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I made a mistake. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I did that, chat. I'm not sure why that happened. Sidechain ducking source. You got me dead in Fortnite. Was that the brown noise to make us poop ourselves? Now the stream is definitely video only. My ears don't work anymore. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. That's weird. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do that while it's playing. Okay, let's not do that again.
You are my claim to fame. I do brag that I know you quite a bit. I'm not joking there. I have name dropped you a couple of times, to be honest.
That's about
I'd like to say, and I kid you not here, I have name dropped you a couple of times, and people know who you are.
People know who you are. It's true. It was about White Panther, our fearless leader of the Claw. Speaking of which, look what I'm wearing today. That should tell you everything.
That. I'm gonna get rid of that.
Oh, I love this one. It's funny because there's actually there's a TikTok beat that Panther made about this. Yeah, if you want merch like this, you can go to Panther's store on Bonfire and order yourself some cool stuff. My Panther jumper has faded. Yeah, I considered getting a sweatshirt, but it's just too warm. I really don't need it. That's the thing. I have so many sweatshirts. Nice try, TD. Did you not know about that? Did you?
Smell failure.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Ryan. Thank you for yating me. So, yeah, a lot has changed since last time. Most notably,
I'll say I'm sorry.
No, be sincere. Like this. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone ever redeems that, Ryan.
I'm sorry.
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 Good.
You
That's
see,
the one.
you see, the funny thing is, Ryan, that's basically just for you, because everyone else is a VIP. You just like emote only yourself, and everyone else is able to chat, you know? So... Are you able to show an example of how you convert a CSV file to JSON in Postgres? Well, TD, I can most certainly do that. We can most certainly do that. Yes, we can. But first, I would like to show you a couple things that have changed. Or talk about a few things. The first thing I want to talk about is two negatives and two positives. So I'll leave it in emote only for a little bit. We'll go back to normal afterwards. So two negatives, two positives. So we'll do negative, positive, negative, positive, just to balance things nicely. And before we get started, I'm going to run this ad because otherwise Twitch is going to interrupt me. So 30 seconds of ad time if you're not subscribed, which very few of you will get.
The party was nice. The party was pumping yippee-yo and everybody having a ball yippee-yo. I tell the fellas start the name calling yippee-yo and the girls respond to the call. I heard a woman shout out, who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who?
It's a very good question, Ian. Who let the dogs out? Wow, Rockman, that one looks really funny when you've got mine moving right and then the debugger one you moving left. That looks very funny together. That looks very funny. Okay, so first negative. I mentioned a few weeks back that we were going to be having a very exciting stream.
Wicked junglers massive wicked. Wicked junglers massive wicked.
I probably need to disable TTS.
Junglers massive wicked. Original well big up all the original junglers massive. The original dancehall junglers stay. Our general levy alongside the M beat. The world is in trouble.
Wow, she's good.
It goes. I am the incredible general sensational. Why dem call me incredible.
Wow.
The whole dem I spin dem like a windmill. New talk fi dem qua tell a dem we got the skill dance cyan nice unless we name ponder pill and the girls hear we voices like dem dreams get fulfill. Meanie chill. We nah seckle we nah illa wada want come see us say us must.
She skips the question marks.
The daddy and beat you knew better go write your will. Come down. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy.
Karen, you are very talented, I have to say. I'm very impressed. So, yes. So first negative. I mentioned a few weeks ago that we were going to be doing a pretty incredible stream. Unfortunately, it was meant to be a sponsored stream and that sponsor pulled out. Which is not cool. But it happens. So I don't care about the financial part so much. I more care about the fact that I can't do what I plan to do with that sponsor on stream because it would have been really cool, and I'm looking as to how I could do it. It's not OF. I'm looking to see if I can do it with a different company because there are other companies that do what they do. And obviously I'm not going to name who they were, and it was for very legitimate reasons, but it was very disappointing nonetheless. And I got that news on Friday, so I didn't keep it from you or something. So that's very unfortunate, but that's the reality. On the plus side, I have decided together with my co-founder, in order to extend our startup runway a little bit, we have decided to take on freelance jobs. So if you are interested, or you know someone who is interested in data related stuff, then just send them over to my website and they can get in touch with me. I'm open to like rates and all that stuff. Like, it's really not about the money, it's just about extending us a little bit. It's just about giving us a little bit more.
Stream is sponsored by NordVPN. Let's watch some anime boobies as if we were living in Japan.
Careful with TTS though, Ryan. I don't want to get banned. I don't want to get banned for pronunciation from Karen. So yeah, if you do know anyone, I'd be really grateful for the leads. Obviously, we're trying to keep our startup afloat, and for that, up until the next financing round, we're trying to extend our runway a little bit to give us more time, basically. So then, let me check my list. I have a list. Yeah, so the other negative thing, so there are 2 negatives, 2 positives. The other negative thing is that, unfortunately, you may have noticed, but I turned off the redeems for the bunny cam for Fiona. The reason is that Fiona is currently in the hospital, and it's not
On the list. Jonah, the list came from the internet.
That's right.
International network.
Actually, it is on the internet, my list, funnily enough. So she's currently in the hospital. I'll turn off emote only now. I think it's been a long time. She's currently in the hospital. It is not life-threatening, just to be very clear. Like, she's okay, but as you know, she's been struggling for a while with her back legs. We don't exactly know what it is. She's receiving some treatment this week, so she's going to be staying there until Friday. But I turned off the redeem because there's nothing to see. It's just an empty room, and I didn't want someone to redeem it and then me having to refund it every time. So I just turned it off. Thanks for the lurk, Ryan. Appreciate it, and thank you for the wishes, Rugmat and TD. We all hope that she's gonna improve a lot. Otherwise, it's gonna be really tough. It's very tough. We already, you know, a lot of you probably know we lost a bunny last year. We had 2 bunnies. We lost a bunny last year, and it's just not fun. It's really not fun. Thank you, Rugman, for the bits again. So yeah, flipping to more positive things, which you may have already noticed that the stream looks very different. That is because I invested in a GPU. More specifically, an eGPU, because I stream on a MacBook laptop, MacBook Pro, so it doesn't have space for a GPU in it, so it's an eGPU. And you can use the setup command or the eGPU command if you want to know specifically about that. And basically, there were several things involved in that decision. I actually made a post on Patreon that is available to everyone. It's public now, that you're able to look at on my Patreon page. If you want to know like the sort of really detailed, nitty-gritty information about how I got to the point of deciding to buy an eGPU. You know, as a streamer, as a MacBook streamer, there are a lot of considerations about it. Ultimately, it was a great decision. I am far less concerned about... I'm far less concerned about stream performance. I mean, I'm not at all concerned about stream performance now, to be very clear. I was able to bump my stream to 1080p. Before I was running at 720p. I was able to bump it to 1080p, no problem. I'm able to run games. I'm able to do all kinds of crazy stuff. My CPU is running cooler. I have basically no MacBook fans running all the time. Like even now, the fan is not running at full speed, which is just incredible. Normally when I was streaming before, the fans were blazing on max, right? Just blowing air through the CPU as much as possible. King440, Johnny Sins or One Punch Man? I actually don't know how to answer that question, King. One Punch Man is anime, right? And I'm not familiar with Johnny Sins, so I'm very sorry to not. I'm not I'm not able to answer that question. I'm very sorry. But welcome to the stream, King. I hope you're enjoying yourself. My work MacBook Pro is always full fans, and TD has forgotten his computer has a fan. Yeah, the new ones is a bit different. The M1 is definitely the M1 is definitely a different scenario, for sure. But yeah, I wrote a full thing on Patreon if you want to read like the nitty-gritty details. Ultimately, I went with something that has good resale value. So the card itself is a 6600 XT. So it has good resale value. GPUs are more or less keeping their, you know, keeping their value at the moment anyway. The eGPU case might not have as high resale value, but it's a good case. It's, you know, it's going to be fine. And ultimately, I'm going to keep this laptop for a long time. I bought it only 2 years ago. It was very expensive. It was almost 4,000 Swiss francs. Put that into your relative currencies. It would, you know, top of the line Intel MacBook Pro at the time was that kind of money. And, you know, there are other computers out there now, of course. Mac is coming out with stuff. But yeah, I mean, basically, that was a good move. TD says, would you rather have bunny feet for hands or bunny hands for feet? Bunny feet for hands or bunny hands for feet? I'm so confused about the formulation of the question. I would rather have bunny feet because it means I could hop. Because bunny paws are not that useful to grab stuff. I wouldn't be able to use a mouse and keyboard, probably. UK, would you late rip the GTU out of the shroud for a dedicated stream PC? Would I be able to use the GPU on its own for a dedicated streaming PC? Yes, I would be able to, because it is a sufficiently powerful enough graphics card to do that. But in the post on Patreon, I went into some detail about why I don't think a streaming PC is a good choice for me. For the content that I make and the setup that I have, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. Ultimately, I don't know what's going to be the case in 2 years. This setup will definitely last me at least 2 years like this, if not longer. Yeah, and I can show you the performance difference. It is absolutely bonkers. The difference in performance is absolutely bonkers. Let me show this to you. So this is what's currently running, okay? As you can see, GPU, it's offloading OBS onto the eGPU card. So OBS is primarily running there. There's a couple processes running on the inbuilt graphics, but that's basically nothing. The grunt of the work is being done by the 6600. And you can see it's not even scratching the surface of what is capable with this card graphically. You can see that it's basically just 20% or something, 15-20% of the card. You can see that the inbuilt graphics, the Intel one, is totally fine, and you can see that the other graphics, so there's two, right, inbuilt graphics on this computer, are barely being used at all, which is the idea, because it doesn't create any lag whatsoever. On top of that, my two monitors are connected to the external graphics card, so nothing is being drawn. Like the screens are not being drawn by the MacBook anymore, right? Thank you, Rugmat, for the bit again. Are you trying to get yourself to land a perfect 100? It's not gonna happen, unfortunately. You might even be able to run 2 node terminals. Hey, Beats, you'd be surprised, but I am actually able to run everything. So I actually have Data Grip open here. I have Visual Studio Code open here in the background. This previously would not have been possible. I still shut off stuff, you know, when I'm not using it. Good landing, Vicious. Just on there. I still shut off, like I still close down programs when I'm not using them. But the difference is that I don't have to worry about it anymore. You're sitting outside in the sun on your day off watching my stream. Rockmat, shouldn't you be doing something else with your time? I'm not saying it's you know, it's not a good use of your time, but like I would have thought if you have a day off, you might want to go, I don't know, have a swim, or I don't know, all the possibilities. The world is your oyster, as they say. So yeah, so the performance is astounding, and as you can see from the CPU usage, the cores are hyper-threaded, which means half of them are physical and half of them are virtual, right? But basically you can see that the overall CPU usage is really good. Like typically, if you remember from previous streams, this number up here, which is the sum of all the cores, right, would be between 12 and 1400%. Like it would be almost using all of my CPU capacity, because I was using CPU to encode because of the way that the inbuilt graphics card, like the built-in ones, were not able to handle it, right? And now I mean, there's no question OBS runs perfectly well on the external one. That being said, OBS is not honoring the setting. So there's a setting that you can do in Finder. Let me see if I can find it. There's a setting in Finder. I'm going to be creating some content, by the way, around this topic on YouTube. Where's OBS? Yeah. So if you look at OBS and then you press get info, which is Command I, there's this prefer external GPU checkbox. Every time I do that, OBS will not start. It will start and just crash instantly. And I don't know if it's particular to my OBS install, so there's something that's conflicting with that setting, or if it's a general OBS issue, because I've read that other people are able to do this, or if it's particular to my eGPU and GPU card combination. This I don't know. That being said, it's not a problem because in OBS specifically you can set the encoder. It's just a little bit confusing because the dropdown has two of the same options. So you can see here Apple VT H.264 hardware encoder. This has in the dropdown, which I can't open because I'm streaming right now, there's two entries for it. Mine was the top one, was the external one. I just had to basically do a stream test to figure out which entry is which. I don't know what happens if I, unplug the laptop a lot and plug it back in, if that changes the order or anything. I have no idea. I really don't know. See, this is what's interesting. So this is what I was telling you about before, chat. So there's this tool from Twitch called the Inspector. Thank you for the bit, Rockman. What the Inspector does is it looks at your stream and it tells you what your performance is. So at the moment, you can see that we're submitting to Twitch. We're like around 3000 kilobits. What's interesting here is that if you set a bitrate, it's apparently only like it's like a flexible bitrate with the hardware encoder. It's not perfectly accurate. So here you can set a maximum, and I had set this maximum at 6000, but that obviously didn't work before. I had this set to 6000 and this set to 6000, and it was peaking. It was going over. I was actually streaming at 9000 something. And we can go back to the other broadcast. I think it was this one. You can see here, it was actually 9861. So I don't know if I need to set this one as 6000 and then this one set it at like 5000. Maybe that would work, but I'm going to do some more tests on that off stream, because that obviously doesn't work properly, or with a second account or something. I don't know exactly. Needless to say, I think the stream is fairly smooth now. I think it seems to be working very well, so I think I'm not going to touch it properly. Yeah, now I really have no concerns about lag or performance or anything, which is worth more than I can kind of describe. That's the thing. Like the concern that something is not working, the concern that something is lagging for you, that the experience isn't optimal, that you're not understanding what I'm saying or something like that, that is so frustrating as a streamer. And so more than just the performance gain, it's that peace of mind that is so powerful, that really allows you to just, as a streamer, to just sit back and do your performance, or whatever you want to call it, edutainment in my case, not having to worry about that. So that peace of mind is worth a lot more than just the graphical itself. So what is the plan for today? Now that we've gotten through all the updates, 1 hour into stream, that's not bad actually. What is the plan for today? The plan, chat, is very simple. We are going to do more work on our project. We are going to be working on Jin, just in numbers, again. If you do not remember where we left off, that's fine, because I also didn't remember, and I had to go look. So I cheated, basically. Where we left off was that we were trying, so let's go really far back. Okay, let's go really far back. I see. Another ad. So many ads on this channel. It's awful. There are so many ads. Okay. I have to think of more content for the ad. Do you know a streamer who suffers from chartophobia, or a streamer that suffers from data phobia? Because there are a lot of streamers out there that are looking at their screens and wondering what should they be doing with their data. They have no idea how to interpret all of their stream analytics, and they are frustrated. Those streamers are typically 30 to 40-year-old older streamers who are really interested in knowing what's going on in their stream, but they have no idea how to interpret what's happening. And so obviously they need a solution. And luckily for them, there is a solution, and it's called Just in Numbers. Just in Numbers is an exclusive opportunity for all of you to get in on the ground floor of this revolutionary, groundbreaking product. Just in Numbers is going to show you what is happening on your stream in real time, without showing you just a buttload of charts, because all the other tools out there are just trying to show you more charts. But that isn't the answer. What you need is understanding, clarity, and that is what Just in Numbers is providing you. Of course, it's not fully built yet, but if you'd like to be on the wait list and you'd like to sign up, then you can go to justinnumbers.com today and secure yourself one of the coveted
first spots. I knew I could count on my community to mess up my stream at the right time. And so, go to the website today if you're interested to learn more. Otherwise, we'll be seeing each other in 2031 when my product is finally on the market.
I was counting on someone to do it. It was only a matter of time. So we're going to be working on Just in Numbers today. That, in terms of ad read, wasn't actually the worst one. There's definitely elements of it that are clippable as a real ad, I think. Without the end, probably. But there are elements that work. So let's go all the way back yonder. And we can look at, we started writing this final raid insertion query. What that means is that we take every single raid that happens during every single stream and we insert into a final destination table where we understand where it gets computed for each of those raids, how many people are still watching the stream, or I should say how many people are still in chat. That's because that's what it's relying on. So the logic for this is pretty simple. It's just checking chatters every time, but it is complex in its implementation, because it's not so simple to keep checking things over and over in SQL. You could probably do this in a different software code logic. You could probably do this in you could probably do this, let me think. You could probably do this in JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript. You could probably do it in vanilla JavaScript, if you really wanted to, rather than doing it in SQL. The advantage for me in doing it in SQL is I write SQL better than I do JavaScript. And the advantage of it also being in SQL means the data gets written directly to database, which means I can read it then much more easily in the front end when I build the front end for someone afterwards. In Lisp. Lisp? What's Lisp? So thirsty. All right. So basically where we left off is we need to go get our stream ID for a stream that had raids. Fortunately, I already did that work last time. If you look at what this looks like here, by the way, tell me if the font is too small. I'll probably need to increase this one a little bit too. We could probably pull this over. Oops. Probably pull this a little bit over here like that. I think this is good. Yeah. So what we have here is we have like basically the stream, right? The stream has been running this long. This is every minute of the stream for the length of the stream, okay? So we had on the 7th of March, this was. Then what we do is we get all of our chatters, okay? And you have basically here you can see you've got, even for today, right? Because this is running all the time. This is running in the cloud. You can see that all the time it's writing everyone in my chat. It's writing them into the database. It writes them when events happen, and it writes them every 2 minutes anyway. So I always have maximum 2 minutes wait time between each log, okay? Then I write all of my raids. So we should see, for today, we should see that lovely raid from B1Mind, which is here, exactly. So B1Mind raided with 2. We had a raid on the 13th of May, that was from Clarkio. We had a raid from UK on the 9th of May. And you can see here, you can see all the other raids that we've ever had on our channel. This is already pretty valuable because Twitch actually doesn't give you a raid history. So even just exposing this raid history of showing you who's raided you most often and who you've raided most often in theory is also possible. Which is, I find that already pretty interesting. Like we could already take the data that's in here and figure out who raids us the most with what average viewer size, right? Now, the raid viewers number we get here is the one that Twitch reports to us as part of the API call. So that doesn't mean we're going to get to this number. That's very important. By looking at number of chatters. Thank you for the bid again, Rugman. Enjoy your day off, by the way. I hope you're enjoying it. So then what we do is we join up the stream and the chatter and the raid all together. So if I were to show you this here, we're going to do a select star from stream chatter raid. Thank you, Tab9, for being reliable today. So we can see here what it does is stream occurred at with the stream ID, the chatters, which in this case, at this particular time, there's no chatters entry. It's null. So everything is null. There's no raid at that time, so there's no raid information, no raid viewers, no anything. Now, if we scroll down, at some point, we can see, okay, so there's chat entries every 2 minutes. We have one. And at some point, you can see there's a raid entry. So at 9:01 on the 7th of March, I received a raid. The raid was from Rosscodes with 1 viewer. Now, at that point in time, we can expand that entry and look at basically the minutes before the raid. So these minutes here. And we can look at the minutes after the raid. And we can figure out who came in with the raid. Good evening to you, Jens. That is your first time chatting here, but we have seen each other many times before. I think mostly in Rocks and Prime streams, if I remember correctly. Is that right? I think we've seen each other quite a bit before. Jens is also a startup founder, actually. And so yeah, you can basically kind of open up a sort of window to before and after this raid, and from that you can garner what has been happening. Just started streaming last week. Oh really, Jens? Okay, that's cool. I'll definitely have to come check out some of your streams. Looking forward to seeing what you're doing there. So we have Raider Prep. What this does is it does exactly what I just described. It basically looks at, do I find a chatters immediately before? So this is what this lag function is doing. Or do I find chatters immediately afterwards? So that's called the source and the target. So if we have a Raider Prep, if we look at what this looks like, Raider Prep. This is as much for me as it is for you, by the way, because I have to review what I was doing. I have no idea what I was doing. Okay, so 9:01, this was the raid. So what it has here is it looks at a source and it looks at a target, and it tries to determine the difference between the two. That's in the next step. That's this Raider diff that you see here. So Raider diff, this is actually pretty solid logic. I'm quite happy about that. There should be now, for each raid that occurred, there should be the difference between the two. So this raid, we can see that Rosscodes was a raider, which probably makes sense because I think that's the raid from Rosscodes. But we can go check that in a second. So then I cleaned this up a little bit. I have a note in here to add a condition to always count the streamer as a raider. So Rosscodes would always automatically count if Rosscodes raided me. And if we look here, I already have a select from clean raiders where Twitch ID is not null. Let me just take that out for a second. What does this look like? Clean raiders. Fascinating. Okay. So we had stream ID. I had a stream ID limitation here, but that was only, not sure why that was. Ah, not equal to current stream. Ah, yeah, exclude current stream while streaming. Ah, really? Why would I want to do that? I'm not sure I would want to do that. Double question mark. Not sure I'd want to do that, chat. Okay, so basically, what does this look like now? I have... Where was that raid? Didn't we have a one on 7th of March? Well, we can check it for a more recent one. So this is for today's stream. Maybe I should remove this temporarily. I think I need to take this condition out for a second, chat. There's something going on there. I'm not understanding what's happening. The 7th of March should be in this list, but it's not. Did I make a limit? Did I put a time series filter somewhere? No. Ah, here, where stream occurred at. Ah, okay. There we go. Okay. So what we can see is that raid from Rosscodes, this one here, in the clean version, we determined that the raider was Maddie and Sun. So Twitch reported 1 raid viewer, and we detected 1. The problem is, you can see here raider count 1. The problem is, of course, that Maddie and Sun wasn't in that raid. And we know that because Rosscodes is a friend of the stream, and Rosscodes came in with only Rosscodes. So we know that this logic doesn't work all the time, and that's okay. We're okay with that. This, on the other hand, I have to figure out why this says null, and I think that's where I stopped last time. JSONB array length. I think I need to wrap this in a case when. JSONB array length. So we're going to wrap this in a case when, which is kind of like an if statement. Case when greater than 0, then this. Question is it always greater than 0? Let's see, because now it's going to do else null. So we will find out. Aha. I see. Well, that didn't work so well. Raider. JSONB array ag as a raider. So the raider is where? Interesting. Shouldn't it be here somewhere? Aha. Why is array length always 1? Oops. It's kind of an interesting phenomenon, isn't it, chat? Because this should be... I mean, it's counting them correctly. Ah, you know what we could do? We could just make this... Ah, I know what we could do. We could make this condition bound to the raid Twitch ID instead. So here, this one, we can say when raid viewers is not null, then blah blah blah, end as raider count. There we go. Problem solved. Okay, so we have a raider count of 1. Now what we could do is compare all of them. So let's do what do we want to include here? Raid occurred at, and the raid Twitch ID, well, we maybe don't need it, but it's fine. Raid viewers and the raider count. Or let's do, wait, I want to see also the raid from broadcaster user login. Yeah. I think this should be enough to compare. And we want to do where raid Twitch ID is not null. So let's compare all the raids together. Here we go. So here's the comparison, chat. Is this readable for you, chat? I feel like it's big enough. 1 1 1 1. Ah, here 5. That's a discrepancy. Where this is 5 times the size of that number. Okay. Also consecutive raids, but very far apart. 1 out of 2, so that's 50%. 2 over 1, that's too big. Half. Although those are 3 minutes apart. I feel like all the raids with 1s and 2s are going to be very unreliable. Here's where it gets interesting. So there's 2 entries. There's 2 entries for Enceladasaurus. But this was not a test raid in any way. This was a realistic scenario of getting raided. And we detected 34 in chat. 34 in chat. And 39 was what Twitch reported to us. So that's pretty good. This, on the other hand, is a problem. Cantidosin, 16 raider count, but Twitch told us the size of the raid was 8. So that's a problem. Here's another one. Anthony writes code 179 130. That's realistic. Purple LF 21 20. That's not realistic. We have 1 higher. So here's where we enter the dilemma scenario. This is where we have to start thinking about logic. Maybe we need to do something. Maybe we need to change some of the logic. Maybe a difference depending on how many viewers stay during the raid and how many leave. It's definitely a difference. So, for example, Yuka raided me. We can also slap a distinct in front of this, by the way. So Yuka raided me on, when was that? Yuka raided me on the 22nd of April. And Yuka does very closely related content to what I do. So for me, it's logical that I retained 100% of viewership. Here with Clarkio, for example, I know that Clarkio's content is slightly different than mine, but I find a drop-off of 50% concerning, to say the least. But that may be what it was. It's certainly possible. Certainly possible. Maybe it's counting all the viewers, not just the raiders. And that is the crux of the problem, Vicious. Is that ultimately, it's counting the difference between X and Y. And if someone else or multiple other people joined the chat, the stream effectively, at the same time as the raid, they will be counted towards the raid. And here is where I'm going to make a sacrifice. I can tolerate this and I can tolerate this, but I cannot tolerate this number. And I cannot tolerate, sorry, so you can see this. I cannot tolerate when my raider count is higher than what Twitch reported. We have to assume that what Twitch reports to us is correct. They are probably also recorded at different points in time. Yes. So the way that Twitch's chat feature works, we only get updates every 3 or 4 minutes, usually. So we're forced to yeah, we're forced to basically wait a long time. They don't keep a real-time record of viewers. I mean, they do on their end, but not in, they don't expose it over API. Sorry, just getting emails from my startup. They don't expose it. So what we're forced to do is basically call every 2 minutes. We call the chatter's endpoint and we look at the differences. That definitely explains the numbers. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discrepancy. But what I can't tolerate is my number being higher than that. I can't tolerate that. Effectively, what I will need to do is make a condition here. This raider count here. So this is basically, let's look at something here. Why am I doing another chat diff? Brain no worky, continue here next time. So that was where I stopped last time. Why was I doing a diff again? Stream occurred at JSON array element chatters as Twitch chatter. I already have computed it here. I have the raider count already. Ah, but that's for the total. Ah. Does Twitch only report the amount of raiders in a raid or also all the users? It only reports the number. So basically, B1 Mind raided me earlier. Oh, you don't see that. Hold on 1 second. Put myself over here. B1 Mind raided me earlier with 2. Clarkio raided me 2 weeks ago with 19. That is the number. So this raid viewers number, this column here, that's the number that Twitch reports. Unfortunately, they don't tell you which users were a part of the raid. That is exactly what my application is doing. Or it's trying to effectively guess who was part of the raid based on the fact that they weren't in chat before and now they are. Okay? Now, there's the possibility with larger channels that there's so much fluctuation that this doesn't work. It's possible. I don't know. It's possible. It's also possible that Twitch changes their chat update system to give us 30-second interval or 1 minute interval changes in chat at some point in the future, and then we could make this better. All complete unknowns. Right now, all I know is that this is based on Twitch's current architecture and what they provide to us. So I know that Clarkio rated me here, or Yuka rated me here with 16 people on the 22nd of April. And I counted 16 people who were in chat after the raid who had not been in chat before the raid. So for my purposes, what I'm going to do is say, if my number is bigger than the raid viewer number, then I will just equalize them. It would be overkill, but you can also check all the channels the new users follow, and if they follow the raider, the chance is high they would come from them, but it sounds like a lot of work. Oh, that's way beyond the scope, and ultimately, I said this before, you pick a measurement system, and if you describe the measurement system and its workings and its drawbacks, and you never change the measurement system, then it's fine. Then you can at least document and say, listen, if someone comes in the same time as a raid, they will be counting it as coming from that raid. That's just the reality. Ultimately, you could say someone brings in 20 viewers and the 1 or 2 people that came in at exactly that point in time are negligible in terms of retention anyway. You could also say that the people that came in at exactly that point in time, so take for example here, okay? I get raided by Yuka, or B1 Mind, you saw this earlier as well. I get raided by someone. I'm gonna finish up whatever I was saying, and as quickly as possible, try and move to thank the streamer for the raid. I'm gonna try and look at, I'm going to try and, you know, engage with their audience, welcome them to the stream, maybe explain a little bit about who I am, depending on the size of the raid, explain what I'm doing, you know, giving them an intro. Whether that happens for the 16 people that came from Yuka's raid, or whether that happens for 2 or 3 other people that came into the stream anyway, it's kind of irrelevant. So in a way, you could also talk about this being just retention from a point in time anyway, you know. Jens, some users are lurking more than one stream, so they might count in both the raid and existing viewers. They cannot count in both. They can only count in one. So if someone in Yuka's channel was watching me before the raid, they will not count towards the raider count because they will have been in chat before the raid. That is the criteria. It means that people who are multi-watching, they won't be counted as part of the raid. And that's also fine. That's just part of the measurement system. That's part of the system we've designed. And that's the decision we have taken with that system. And if you describe that system to people, it's fine. You just take those decisions. So what I want to do is make a little thing here. Well, let me just think about this. Clean raiders. Add a condition to always count. Yeah, we can do this later. I want to clean counts. I'm separating the logic out in this minutia because I normally might not do that, but I'm doing that now because I want it to be as simple as possible. So I'm separating out that logic as small as possible. Okay, so what I have is final counts, where I do blah blah blah. Case when raid viewers is not null, and raid viewers is smaller. Sorry, let me think about this. Greater than or equal to JSON-B array length raider. I have to close this at all space. Then raider. Let's just separate the logic here. So the condition is when raid viewers is not null and it is greater than or equal to JSON-B array length raider. What should happen if it's smaller? Let me just do this for a second. Question, group by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are those numbers referring to column numbers? Yes. Yes. So... Oh, I forgot to terminate this statement properly. So many emails today. So what you see up here, group by, that's effectively because I'm using an aggregation function in this column. JSON-B aggregate is aggregating these as a JSON array. So I have no choice but to group by the other columns that are coming from SR, so from Stream Chatter RAID, which are Stream Chatter RAID is this thing up here. Yeah, this thing. Stream occurred at, stream ID, chatters, chat user count, and everything from RS, which is from raids, which is the raid occurred at, the raid pitch ID, the raid viewers, and that. What is lag in SQL? So this is very easy to explain. Lag is part of what's called a window function. So look at this. Let me explain it visually. Whenever you have a whenever you have a row, you can use SQL to traverse vertically along the rows next to it, above or below it. So if we look here, for example, so here, for example, what is happening here is that in row 63, we want to get a value from row 62. And the only way that you can do that is because basically SQL is running sequentially through, right? It's processing every row on its own. So what a window function does is it groups certain things together. That's what that is what the logic reads as well. That's what when you read here, ignore the lag for a moment. If you just see this over, right? That over, what it's doing is essentially telling you, aha, I'm creating some kind of a window. Now in this case, the over without any criteria in it, any selectors in it, means it's creating a window of everything. So in this particular scenario, we have stream occurred at, raid Twitch ID, and raid occurred at. So it will create a window across everything. And that means that here, the lag function in particular goes up the table. So lag as in one previous. And the lead function that you see here goes to the next row. It effectively allows you to capture from a table a previous or so if we're looking at row 63, like here, it allows you to go up or down the result without changing the entire frame of the table. The easiest way to explain this is if I have something here and I want to access that piece of information in a row down here, then you can just say, oh, go up 2 rows and get me the information that you found here. And that's what we're doing for the chat function, because we have to get chatters, and you can see the offset here. So you have lag, and then you're telling it what field to look for, and you also have the offset. It is somewhat similar to an offset, if you're familiar with the term. And so you're allowed to specify the number of rows. You can also specify the number of rows by using other functions as well. It is very useful, Jens. Welcome in Finite Singularity. Happy Monday to you. Finite, have you been doing some good raid?
Okay,
sorry, clip. Uh-oh. Ooh, what happened there? Oh dear. Ollie. What did Ollie do? Ollie is one of Finite's dogs who accompany him on his stream. If you like lots of very intense OBS stuff, then if you like very intense OBS effects, then and lots of coding, then Finite is the place to go. Highly recommended. Ollie decided to keep grabbing stuff off of Mrs. S's desk. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Currently I have a batch job traversing through daily stock prices to calculate covariance matrix between individual stocks. Lag should make it possible to do directly in a stored procedure or even a view. Yes. Anything that you need to calculate as part of the result that you already have can easily be done with a window function. That is the beauty of SQL. You can do things at time of processing. You don't need to do it afterwards, which is kind of cool. Nice pun, Rugmat. The stream went to the dogs. So that is the explanation of that. So yeah, so group by of here and then clean count. So basically, what the logic I did now is if we have raid viewers and they are, let's just check here. How often does this occur? So if the RAID viewers is greater than or equal to what we measured, then it should give back what we measured. We can see here that we have some problems. How CPU intensive is it? The database is in the cloud, so trying to keep it lean in terms of CPU usage. I mean, window functions generally are more intensive, but if you're already executing a query, then, you know, it really depends on your data set as well, Jens. Really depends on the size of the data set. Like if you're talking about a couple 100,000 rows or something, it's probably not going to be that significant. If you're talking several million rows, then it can start to get very, very costly, definitely. So you should look into how often do you need it? That's the thing. Like how often do you need that data to be up to date? Because if you're running that function every 2 minutes, but you only need it once a day, then offloading it into something else makes sense. Okay. So Yuka's should have stayed at 16. That's correct. Clarkio's stayed there. So these are the ones that we have a larger number. So what we should do is actually just set it to the maximum. That actually makes sense, doesn't it? So UK rated with 5. We measured 5. I guess. Based on our logic. Encelatosaurus rated with 39. We measured 34. Anthony rated us with 179, we measured 130. Purple with 20, we measured 20, or it fixed it to 20. So that actually makes sense for me. I'm gonna write a little note here. If our measured raiders count is higher than Twitch's reported figure, we adjust downwards to Twitch's number. Very simple. That's it. That's the logic. That is the explanation of the logic. And that allows us to have now, this is the 100% maximum size that we measured for that raid. So if we consider a raid like Anthony's, which was 179 viewers, and we do 130 over 179, it means that when we received that raid, we only had 72.6% retention at that point in time. And that is what we're getting at with that curve. That is what we're getting at. Okay. Now it's time for the next part, but first we're going to take a break, chat. Exegete, hey yo, how's the eGPU life? The eGPU life is insane. Buttery, smooth, and insane. Thank you, Exy. Yeah, I was streaming with 9,800 kilobits in the beginning of stream. I don't know why that happened. So my screen was entirely black and no one could see anything, but they could hear me. It was insane. My internet connection is bonkers, so you know that works. So we're gonna take a short break, chat. I need to go get some water. I need to get some water, stretch my legs for a sec.
Garbage.
And I encourage all of you to... Can we add a lewd to the end of eGPU?
No, be sincere. Like
Leg
this.
poo?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Melky! Melky! Oh my gosh, it's the first time.
Sorry.
Melky, it's so great to see you.
I'm sorry.
There's staff.
Good, that's the one.
There's staff in chat. Oh my god. You're gonna switch to standing, like Jigglypuff, just standing there. How are you doing, Melky? Does everyone know who Melky is? Melky is also a streamer. Oh, thank you, Rugmat. Ooh.
Right, so we want it to be at the bottom here.
Same day delivery. Jeff Bezos,
Ah.
the richest man in the world.
That would be not in the. That would be in task here.
Hmm. Melky's a coder. Like me.
So, I have engineering talks April 27th, 2 days after my B-Day. I didn't do the classic, you know, B-Day stream. You know how most streamers do, like, oh, it's my B-Day stream.
There's gonna be an ad in a second for all of you who aren't
I didn't do
subbed.
that. So, yeah.
Melky, will you get an
next time
ad
you
as
get to
well?
talk.
As a Twitch
Share about your
staff, do you
favorite
get ads
streamers. Make
too?
sure y'all remember that.
That'd actually be pretty
Make sure
funny.
y'all
April 25th is your birthday, okay. I'll try and remember. I'm terrible. Just going to take a short break. No one is safe from ads. Adpocalypse is coming! Just gonna take a short one. Just refill my water, and I will be right back. You can use all the memes while I'm gone. Amuse yourselves. Play amongst yourselves, chat. I shall be back.
Distort on. Fine. I'll say I'm sorry.
No, be sincere. Like this. I'm sorry.
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 Good, that's the one.
Distort off.
You can't stream me back to my childhood.
If you didn't want to play, then why'd you come to the party?
Wow, that really blew my mind. Like, I have goosebumps.
I see I've been missing a party.
I am getting a text message.
Actually, you're probably right.
There it is.
I actually did get a text message.
Information. Ones and zeros never lie.
If you didn't want to play, then why'd you come to the party?
Ah, yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah, I got a message that was actually important. Forgot about that. Party? I was missing a party, apparently. Ah.
What's that smell? Failure.
Yeah. I have to change something on my website. So, let's get back to business, chat. Let's get back to business. I'm gonna put myself up here. So, now that Melky's here, we can ask Melky all the questions about Twitch APIs and stuff. Why is there still no reliable chatter's endpoint to tell you who is in chat with less than 4 minutes delay. DCMA strike inbound. That sounds like a warning for a missile strike or something, TD. I'm gonna get YMCA. Is that enough? Probably not. If you're still around, Melky, I think you left already. Matul says, you left. I wanted to see if it showed staff properly in lurk reveal. Apparently it doesn't. And I know that my partner was watching my stream and she is still appearing as in chat. So definitely more than 4 minute lag sometimes, depending on devices, which is not cool. It's really not cool. So last time we stopped here. Why did we stop here? Brain no worky, continue here next time. That's very, very frightening to read this again. Chat diff. I wanted to make a difference between clean raiders and raider prep. Why would I do that? Thank you for clipping that, TD. A clip, 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 and a clap. And then you've got your Twitch clip. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Why was I comparing the clean raiders and raider prep? Didn't I already do that here? I already made the diff. See, brain no worky. It totally makes sense that I wrote that. What does this even look like? Except types timestamp without time zone and text cannot be matched. Okay. Let's just put the raid ID instead. But we already have the people who are in each stream. This is very confusing. Why did I do this, chat? Can someone tell me why I did this? Because I don't understand why I did this. Let's review. We have counts.
Whenever I think of the 1980s, my first thought is of a boombox. But that's just a stereotype.
Oh, finite. You and Alan never let me down. You and Alan never let me down with those. Oh. Blue Squid, hello. How are you doing today? Nice to see you again. 1 second, chat. I have to look at something. I'm getting spammed.
Another powerful reason for insisting on Intel Inside.
I'm getting so much email right now. Why am I getting so many? Oh, okay. My co-founder started doing stuff, and that's why I started getting all the updates. Anyway, are they ever going to give you up? No. Hi again, Blue Squid. Did you say hi earlier? Did I miss your hi in the craziness of 9,800 kilobits upstream to Twitch? We already did one of those a few weeks ago.
Yeah, mess it up. Totally messed up. It's funny how Flyboy comes in and then messes stuff up, and then, you know, it's like broken and then leaves. Just leaves. Like doesn't come back. I don't know. Or maybe flies
sticks around. I don't know. Maybe it's a time zone thing. Now again, as in I haven't stopped by in a while. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, it's always nice to see you, Blue. It's always nice to see you here. This doesn't make sense to me. I have the counts. I have the raiders from each SR. SR is stream chatter raid. Chatter source, chatter's target. And then yeah. Raider diff, exactly. Basically the Does it have to do with your flyboy retention rate time? Will this be a new metric and just in numbers? How fly am I? Is that what you're saying, Finite? I should have a new metric. Flyboyness? Flyness? Your royal flyness. So Raider diff just looks at Twitch chatter. Except you're pretty fly for a Swiss guy. I was waiting for this. Do. Actually, a great track. This is already the Raider. This is already the Raider. This is already the clean output. Clean Raiders. We have the clean Raiders already. These are just the counts. These are just the counts. 1 second, chat. Sorry. Today is just a bad day. How do you know the raiders are clean? They might have been jumping in puddles. Muddy puddles? Maybe. It's possible, TD. I don't know. I'm confused by your raider diff. It looks like the bit before and after except are identical. Ah, you see? That's where it's not. There's one difference, which is this field here. Maybe I have to make it a little bit bigger. So you see that basically what I'm doing is I'm saying, show me the chatter's target and remove the ones that are chatter's source. I can actually show you this because it's pretty epic. I'm actually very proud of this particular function. So if we look at here, if we were to take this out, let me just do this like that. So let me show you. So you see here, for example, this raid, I don't know which raid this is. This raid had a ton of Twitch chatters in it. All of these. You can see they're alphabetical as well. Some like their raids clean, some like them dirty. Now, if we take this raid and discard everyone who was already in chat beforehand, okay. Let me just, so we're looking at, how many rows is this? 29 rows. Where raid Twitch ID, oops. Hello. Raid Twitch ID equals this. It's just to show you the logic, because it's pretty epic. So you see here, this one, actually the only new chatter between those two timestamps is Maddie and Sun. Which category are hot tub streams in? Hot tubs, beaches, no, pools, beaches, and something. I like my raids shaken, not stirred. I believe the name is Bond. James Bond. I like my raids like I like my coffee. No thank you. Wait, what? I misread something. I meant either clean or dirty raids. So basically, this is pretty epic because I have, in terms of the raiders, I now have for each stream, select. I also don't drink coffee, XC. Ever. I've never had a coffee in my life. Isn't that cool? We're like non-coffee drinking buddies. So we have everything we need here. For example, depends on the hot tub. Was this one of those gross gym hotel hot tubs or a nicely maintained home hot tub? You technically could have a nicely maintained hotel hot tub, provided that the hotel is sufficiently high class. So basically the count is just for later, for computing retention. So we have our raider from clean raiders, and then we want every single point in time to diff off of that point in time. That's probably why I wrote brain no worky continue here next time. Because we start with clean raiders and take away the ones that are in the chatter's source, which technically should leave you... Ah, I see. Now I understand. Okay. Here's the problem. Stream chatter raid. Stream occurred at. So we have to add stream occurred at and the raider. Maybe not actually. From clean raiders. Well, I guess I'm glad I asked because you were working through the explanation. Seems to have helped anyway. It does, yeah. That's why I encourage everyone to always ask any question they like in my stream. So thank you for asking, Blue. Clean raiders as raider. So if I just wrote raider, I just want to see what this looks like, because I'm not entirely sure what this looks like. Do you work in SQL yourself, Blue? Do you write a lot of SQL? Okay, so there's an array for that. Okay. And then what about the opposite? What about the opposite? Raid Twitch ID JSON B array elements chatter source. Yeah, we need the timestamps in there. If you don't have the timestamps, Raider prep. Raider prep. Raider prep. Stream occurred at. So we have it. Stream occurred at. And then we do JSON B array elements of raiders as raiders. Will this work? Column raiders does not exist. Ah, raider. Didn't pluralize. Okay, so we just have to find, here we go. So we have a raider who came in here. Now the question is, how do we follow that person through chat? I think this is where I arrived at the conclusion that I needed to make a table with a Twitch stream users with a stream ID, a user ID, first seen, a last seen, and present minutes. Holy moly, this got complicated fast. Then I computed presence time. Holy moly, I already did this? When did I do this? Did I already do this? Holy moly, I already did it. I already did it for each thing. Crazy. I don't remember doing that. Oh, wasn't that the prediction? We ran a prediction to see who had the largest presence time in all of my streams. I think that's what it was. Was that it? Possible, right? Let's compute this on every stream. I think that's, yeah, Vicious, that's what it was. Order by 2, descending. Yeah! Finite, you beat. Did you beat? Oh! Oh my gosh, Rugmat, have you taken over from Finite? Wait, what? Does anyone remember who won? Does anyone remember what it was last time? That's so close, though. The two of you are neck and neck. Finite and Rugmat, you are just like... That is super, super close. Ian, Joost, Steffi. See, this is interesting because Twitch doesn't tell you this either. I'm building a whole load of stuff that Twitch doesn't have for a different feature. The whole raid mechanic stuff. But all this stuff Twitch doesn't even tell you anyway. Twitch doesn't tell you who your most active viewer is in your chat. Do they? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Jens! Thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. First timer. That's super cool, Jens. Thank you. Twitch doesn't tell you this. I've never found this before. How is that possible? Wait a second. I only activated StreamB a little, like a few months ago. So StreamB has accumulated... Oh, I know what this is. This also counts. This also counts time when the streams weren't running. Yeah, because I took out the stream ID. I think I need to refine that a little bit, chat. Anyway, the point is, for each stream you could do some cool stuff here. Order by 1, 2. So that's fine. Okay, I got distracted. I got very distracted. What was I trying to look at? I was trying to look for why this thing doesn't work. Ah yeah, chat diff. I think I came to the conclusion that I probably should try to... I should try to create a table. should try to create some kind of table as the stream goes along. See, the issue is that we have to write this into stream. We have to write this as the stream is happening. Hence this stream occurred at thing. So if we look at this, we should actually see today's stream in here already. Yeah, so here, for example. Where was the raid? Here was. B1 Mind. Ah, of course. Oh, this is going to be really tricky. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Oh, chat. This just got really complicated. This just got super complicated. Remember how before, when we wrote this down, if our measured raiders count is higher than Twitch's reported figure, we adjust downwards to Twitch's number. So basically, if Twitch told us B1 Mind rated with 2 and we measured 6, then we just write 2. However, how do we know which chatters to track over the course of the raid when you have that situation? Because that's the only way you can get that burn down over the course of like 5-minute intervals. You can only get that if you track those particular users as a kind of cohort. Tricky just means more excitement when it's solved. I applaud your positivity, Blue. Honestly. Yeah, really. Maybe look a little in the past. Do like an astronomer and just compute the median. So Vicious, we're already looking in the past. The logic is, and I'll share the logic with you because it's not a problem. Because for someone to replicate this, I think it's going to be too complicated at this point. I first look at the previous lag entry, which is 1 minute. If I don't find chatters there, then I look at the 2 minutes, and if I don't find one, then I look at 3 minutes. But I know that the maximum lag for chatters is always 2 minutes. I always have a 2 minute, like I always have a 2 minute delay. Realistically, that's not a problem. With the target, I'm waiting 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and 7 minutes. Because we saw that it was not very reliable. So obviously in those 5 minutes, a lot can happen. Really, a lot can happen. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. Like B1 Mind, Twitch reported 2. So obviously B1 Mind came in with someone else, but we don't know who that was because Twitch doesn't report that. So when we have more than that entry, we have to somehow decide which users to take and which to not take. Oof, that's really tricky. That's very, very tricky. Yeah, exactly, Blue. Other people might join as exactly the same in that 5 minute window, and that's basically what happened here, right? That's essentially what happened here. You can see it quite clearly. You can see that B1 Mind came in with 2, which was B1 Mind and one other person from this list, because that's the people who weren't in chat before. But we also don't know which person that was. So the risk is we can't track raids where our computed number is higher. That's the end result. That is literally the end result. If we get a raid, that only happens with small raids anyway. We cannot track raids where is it? Where did I put it? Yeah. If our measured raiders count is higher than Twitch's reported figure, we adjust downwards to Twitch's number. Maybe it makes sense to just exclude those raids entirely. We exclude those raids from our analysis for burn down. Because actually, chat, this actually could make a lot of sense, because with a raid that's 2 people, it actually makes sense to not have a burn down for it, because it's so small that the burn down is kind of irrelevant, if that makes sense. Like if the raid is 2, then if one of those 2 people leave, it's 50% viewership retention. And if the other person leaves, then it's 0. There's no in between, you know? So maybe we should only calculate burn down for a raid of 10 and above, for example. Is the viewership pattern of someone who joins via a raid different than someone who joins randomly? That's a very difficult question to answer, Blue. In general, yes. The behavior of people who join a stream that's known to them versus a stream they get raided into is different in terms of viewership, retention, but let me show you something. So I did a little bit of analysis back in April. I did some rough computation on this. This was looking at my viewership split by raiders and non-raiders. So if the pattern is the same, it doesn't matter which chatter you track from burn down. This is very true, Blue. That wouldn't matter, but it's definitely the case of they are different. So your normal non-raider viewers, individually speaking, they fluctuate a lot. There are some that are there permanently, and there are some that are only there for short periods at a time and they leave again. With a raider, typically they will join and then at some point they will leave, but they won't come back. It does happen. That's what you see here in this middle bit here. It does happen that they come back, where there's these little peaks. They leave and come back, but yeah, typically it's not the case. You can see that the non-raider viewership fluctuates all over the place. Again, this is just one sample though. Numbers of viewers T is number of viewers T minus 1 plus new viewers T left viewers plus raiders. The question is, how long should a viewer be active to be counting as a viewer? So Jens, we have to make a very important distinction. We are talking about chatters here. And that's quite important. The endpoint from Twitch from which we get this information is the chatters endpoint. That's why I'm specifically calling them chatters here. The chatters endpoint only measures who is connected to chat. So there are considerations to be made for the fact that you could be having stream viewers who are not connected to chat. This is a possibility. And if they are not connected to chat, then they are watching your stream, but they will not be counted in this. And that is a choice of measurement that I've made. That being said, our working assumption is that the large majority of viewers are connected to chat while consuming the content. My thing is that yes, for a very small raid, I would agree with throwing it away. However, what would you do with a 100-person raid, but it shows 105? See, Blue, that's very unlikely to happen. based on the data that I've collected so far, if we look at clean counts, hold on, where was this? Hold on a second. Jason B. Raider as a raw count. This is a very good point. I like the questions a lot. Select star from clean counts. So let's see how often that's actually occurred. So okay, so now we can start to filter. So the raider count, this is our adjusted count. So what we're looking at is the difference between raid viewers and raw count. So let's look at select from key counts where, so how many raids were there? We're talking about, oh, 50, exactly 50 raids, okay. Fine, we have exactly 50 raids to choose from, that's cool. And out of those 50, select the ones where the raw count, oh, I don't think, yeah, I can. Raw count is larger than the raid viewers. Okay. Oops, I need a semicolon here. $21. Okay, so in 21 of my 50, which is 42%, my count was higher. However, we also have to discount where raid viewers is 1, because those are fake raids, as in someone in chat already decides to raid as a kind of joke. It's a little bit of a meme on my channel. And I don't have any other data to go on for the moment. So, oops, sorry, is not 1. Not equal to 1. So if we discount the ones, we only have 6 cases. Let's look at these cases. And for that, I need to have who these raids came from. I need to take those back in. And I can tell you if it's going to happen or not. Okay, UK, that's definitely a case where there's probably some weird double watching going on, because UK is one of our team members of the stream team. It's also not 6 out of 50, but 6 out of not ones. Well, yes and no. I mean, ultimately, it's a question of how many of the raids will we have to discard? That's the question. So basically, if we did it the other way around, if we said, how many raids, let's do it like this. How many raids where we had raid viewers over 10 or over 9? So 10 or more. So out of the 50 raids we had, there's only 7 that are legitimate raids. Of course, I don't see it that way. Every raid is a raid. But there, on my channel in particular, a lot of people do use the raid function as a sort of joke. So if we maybe set the cap at 4, so 5 above, 5 and above is a raid. 5 and above, there's 12 raids. Out of those 12, which ones have a raw count larger? Raw count greater than raid viewers. So out of 12, it's 4, which is not good actually. 4 out of 12. It's 33%. Probably double watching. Kantidosan also quite likely to be double watching. Purple Elf is very minorly over, and Long Like Short was also very minorly over. These aren't such a problem. These are more of a problem, but these two streamers, it's quite likely that there was some shenanigans going on there. The Cantidosan one in particular, that's quite concerning. I mean, basically there's a lot of other people being measured as part of the raid, even though they weren't in the raid. I guess that's the sacrifice as part of the 5-minute window. If we would reduce that window here, if we would reduce this window to 4 minutes, for example, then I'm pretty sure that we could reduce this. There you go, you see? Only these two. Would it be fair to assume that the raw count is the number of users present when the raider initiated the raid? Maybe some users opened the raid target before the raid and then double count. So they wouldn't be double counted, they would just be discarded. They would just be discarded. Ultimately, it's sort of a question of we just pick a measurement system and then stick with it, right? So if we're fundamentally happy with a certain system, then we'll just keep that. Let me just adjust this for a second. If we would change this to 4, 5, and 6 minutes post-raid, we were at 5, 6, 7 minutes. So we see here that... interesting. Still 21. Could try something short, like 2 minutes. Because technically there's always an entry 2 minutes later. Still a problem. Interesting. Cantidosan's though is gone. I mean, ultimately this is the unreliability of Twitch's chatters endpoint, right? That we're fighting against. That's why I set it to 5 minutes, because our interval was always 5 minutes. Like, that's what we said was our lowest interval. Like, we don't measure anything below the 5-minute mark. So that's why I decided to use 5 minutes there. But the challenge still exists. So even if we said that, even if we said we would only count streams with 9 or more viewers, we still have purple stream where there's one person who we wouldn't know who to discount. Got a lurk. Good luck figuring it out. I just wanted to throw the questions out there because I got nervous when you mentioned throwing some raids away. Interesting, Blue. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, in the sense of like throwing them away, I'm not throwing them away completely. What I'm just doing is I wouldn't be able to show this type of burn down for a raid that is too small. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So maybe I only should show burn down for raids that are, I don't know, 30, 40 and above. That kind of makes the raid feature though not as valuable. That's the thing. Maybe this is the reason that no one did it yet. Also, have a good lurk, Blue. I appreciate your questions, always. One second, chat. Gotta check something again. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, we've reached a point in the stream which is very interesting. We have a decision to be made. Ultimately, we have to decide whether we want to consider raids of a certain size, because we won't be able to follow those chatters. The general consensus is larger raids lend themselves to a burn down easier, but the chance of getting a large raid is fairly small. If we look at the composition of raids that I get, I'm a fairly small streamer, to be fair, but I think I'm representative. I get raids of, you know, 8 to 15 in general. So if we excluded those raids from the analysis, this entire feature wouldn't be useful to someone like me, which negates the whole point of building it in the first place. White Panther, 1 year, 1 year of Pantherdom. Oh my gosh. White Panther, everyone, has arrived. It's very late for you, Panther. What are you doing awake?
How do I do this?
Wow.
Stop! Ah! Right, brilliant, brilliant.
I'm in bed, don't worry. Ah, lovely, Panther. Well, it's very nice to see you. Thank you so much for 12 months. Has it been a year? Has it been a whole year? That's incredible. Has it been a year since I was offered the amazing opportunity, once in a lifetime chance to join the Claw? What a milestone. What a milestone. And your badge, a whole year since the data spoke for itself. You have received the illustrious pie chart badge. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's almost like someone designed it. Pie chart badges are insane. Super cool. We have a decision to make, chat. We have a decision to make, because this is a very, very tough call. If we discount raids that are of a certain size from this analysis, then the feature becomes not very useful. Shredark, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Oh, the same hammer that shatters glass can temper steel. That is a quote from a TV show. And you know what it means? It means that how you use the tool is what makes it useful. It's not the tool itself. It's about how you apply the tool to the problem that you have. Oh, this is really tough. I don't want to just discount raids of a certain size. I mean, I understand with like a raid of 2 people, having a burn down doesn't make sense. But discarding raids of like 10 or below, I think there's going to be a multitude of raids that just won't be collected then. But then the question is, okay, is this tool for a small streamer then? Maybe this tool is for a medium to large streamer, of which there are plenty as well. It's just aimed at a different audience. Or this feature is aimed at a different audience. Ooh, I really need to think about this, chat. I need to think about that. But we should take one raid out as an example, because that will allow us to have like a sample to work with. So let's look at one of the raids. Let's look at Enceladasaurus's raid. I really like Enceladasaurus. I love her streams. So let's look at her raid. Okay, so this is the raid ID we're looking at. Bexram off. Welcome in. Ah, yeah, Jens, you know Panther, don't you? That's true. Yeah. Panther streams, Rox streams, Prime streams.
Put my faith in data, information.
Mm-hmm.
Ones and zeros never lie.
I'm thinking of recording that scene myself as a joke. So, okay, if we have one raid that we can look at, then it's this one. So let's do that. Clean raiders. Let's do it here. Matty Two Shoes, where streamers come to hang out. You think so? You think that's a thing? You think that's a thing? Could be a thing, Jens. I mean, it's possible. It's possible.
I think I am getting a text message.
Is that so?
There it is.
Actually, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Panther. I mean, ultimately... Okay, let's look at... Okay, clean raiders. Clean raiders. Clean raiders. Clean raiders. What does clean raiders look like? We should have a stream occurred at and the raider thing. Ooh, interesting. There's two. Actually, a cool vibe you've got going. I never thought watching sequel could be so entertaining. Thank you, Jens. I never thought when I started streaming over a year and a half ago that people would want to watch me write sequel. That's the thing. Vibes. There's always this ad that I keep getting on YouTube videos for what was it again? It's one of the dating apps. Bumble, I think it is. I think it's Bumble. And the German translate they've done it's in German, the ad. And the woman is like saying like on Bumble, women make the first move. Your rules, you know. But the way that she says it in German is like they use the word vibe. So she says like deine Regeln, dein Vibe. And it just sounds so odd to hear her say an English word in that context. And so whenever I hear the word vibe, I'm instantly transported to this ad. And I don't think that's a good thing. I think they've manipulated my brain. They certainly prefer your face over the data speaking for itself. Is that so? You really think so, Panther? Really? My face? Okay, so I don't know why there's two chatter objects here, but basically I would do distinct, select distinct. I want distinct. What do I want from this? Stream occurred at.
The face does speak for itself.
Look at that little face. My last stream was 5 hours of translating Danish and English copy in my CMS. Even I was bored. You know, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. Oh my gosh, Ian, you're gonna land. It's a good land too. Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, Ian. Yay! Nicely done, Ian. Stream occurred at. Stream ID. What else do I need in here? I need the chat user count. No, I don't. Why do I need that? I need the raid, Twitch ID. Oh, Panther, did you miss? Panther challenge incoming. What's the challenge? Raid Twitch ID. And then Raider. No, I need... Yeah, why not? Raider. Or I can include the raid from... maybe not. Ooh, I landed 2, but it wasn't enough to beat Ian. Okay. So I have 1 Raider object. No, still not. Fascinating. For the stream, it has 2. Okay. That's not good. We actually have to limit it to 1 entry per raid. Don't know how to do that. Maybe we should pick a different raid. Maybe we should pick a different one. Maybe we should pick a different example. Maybe we should pick a different one. Let's pick a different one. Oh, here we go. No. That's the double. Okay, let's look for another one. I think we should just look for a different one because I actually could just open the database for this, but I'm lazy. Okay, a raid with none. That's great. Lovely. Ross codes and Commander Root. I somehow think that's unlikely that Commander Root came in. Maybe this whole thing is just broken. Maybe this whole logic just doesn't work because Twitch's endpoint is just completely broken. And I should just abandon that feature. Oh, that's really tough. It's a really tough call, chat. I don't know if I should continue building this feature now. If the endpoint is that unreliable, mechanically speaking, that it only works for large raids. And even then, I mean, you get a raid of 100 people and immediately you have a 5-minute window. I guess it's still useful for larger raids, just not for small ones. Time to run a short ad for those of you not subbed, of which I'm not sure if there are any of you not subbed. This is a good time to run an ad. So I think what we should do is let's continue with Enceladosauruses thing, but let's just take the first row or something. So basically what you have is you have stream occurred at this time, and then you join with the best join ever. You join this one. So you say left join. We're gonna call this clean raiders as CR. We're gonna left join. Where do we have the chatters with every raid? Raider prep. We have stream occurred at and chatters. Source. Oh, you also need chatters here actually. Okay, so we're gonna do stream prep. Interesting. Why doesn't that come up? Ah, raider prep. Or we could take it from up here as well. Stream chatter raid, because that has the chatters as well. Stream chatter raid as SC on sc dot stream occurred at equals cr dot stream occurred at. Ian coming in with those LED shoes. Good speed. You might land? No, I think you're too far off. Yeah. I might land again. Oh, I think I'm gonna self-land. Yep. Jens, midnight is approaching and a big meeting tomorrow morning. Thanks for a cool stream and see you around. Thank you, Jens, for stopping by and for the sub. I really appreciate that. Really do. I hope you have a good meeting in the morning. Fortunately, I do not have a meeting in the morning, so I am spared from waking up too early. I do have a lot to do though, so I have to get up eventually. The temperature though is yeah, it's kind of killing me. Good night, Jens. Take care, and I'll hopefully catch your stream as well soon. I'll have to check what your schedule is. And I would just watch you do translations, you know. I'm sure you have lots of cool stuff to mess around with on your stream. Oh, is that so, Ian? So we're gonna do then sc.chatters. Does that make sense? Ah, we had this problem last time. This is the, yeah, this is why I wrote Brain No Worky. We have to generate a series with the raiders. Ah, that's what the key is. You have to generate a series for the raiders to be computed. Or i.e.
Hey Matty, did you know some folks don't appreciate puns?
They don't, Alan. Appreciate, I assume that meant.
Yeah, they're no pun.
You landed again, Ian. Well done. They're no pun indeed, Ian. Alan. Ian, Alan. Welcome in, Alan. Nice to see you. Were you here earlier by any chance? Were you here earlier by any chance? Because I would love to know if you were. I was here during the blackout for a bit. Ah, okay, so Twitch caught you there. Okay. We have to generate a series for the raiders to be computed for, i.e. Until max stream time. Oh, that's gonna need a whole thing, isn't it? Because basically you have to populate the chatters, you have to populate the raiders across the entire stream, because you can't join them yet. You can't join them yet. You gotta make like a, I don't know what you call this. Let me just check for another raid. How you doing today, Alan? It's nice to see you. Good to see you again. Now let's just take this one. That was from Clarkio. See, because what you have here is you only have one row. You only have one row. Stream occurred at, stream ID, and raider. And what you want to do is populate the raider array into every single row so you can compare it directly. Doing good, just finished up with workday and back to hacking on my own code. Hacking away, as they say. I have a perfect emote for that. Noob's emote has that. The hack. This one. Oh wow, and of course when I drop Noob's emote, it goes straight into Oblivion. Well done. So we would need to generate a series here. I did this earlier. I did this earlier, chat. The heat is really getting to me, chat. Sorry. Ah, here, generate series. See, I did like this. Select from, and then shh. See, like that. This is kind of cool. We could probably do the same thing. We could do something very similar. Is "can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen" a phrase in your neck of the woods? Yes, it is. I've heard that before, Alan. Is there a good pun around it? I feel like there's a good pun for it. Let's see if we can do something clever here. So we need to look at the stream ID. That we don't need to do. We already have this. Couldn't we just do it again? How does this work? Let's break this function down a bit. So if I didn't have stream ID, if instead I had from clean raiders, I had cr dot stream occurred at with double R. And I didn't have started at, and I didn't have ended at. And then I didn't have this or any of these. And then what would I have? I would have the stream occurred at, and then I would have the, I don't know, stream ID? Would I need all of those things? I don't think so. Not sure I would need those. Maybe not. I could keep in that. So I would have the st.raid Twitch ID and st.raider. And then here, the generate series would pull from I would need to have the information about the stream. Select star from clean raiders. Ah, because it's filtering. We filtered in the wrong place, chat. We filtered in the wrong place. That's what we did. We made a boo-boo. We made a boo-boo. I don't think we need to do this. I don't think we need to do that. I think... Keep getting a lot of notifications. I think we can do this. Let me just check. So there will be only one entry with that. Ah no, so we do need to generate a series. Yeah. There's no way around it. We have to generate the series. Exactly. And you have to generate it for each individual one that has... Okay. So stream occurred at... Where do we get started at and ended at from? How did we do it up here? From Twitch stream. Here. Uh-huh. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Because... That's not going to work because we don't have that information available to us here. And I don't want to duplicate all the code. So we have the stream ID, but we have stream occurred at. So if we just do min stream occurred at. Oh, you can't do aggregates in here. That's why. Okay. So then we need to do min stream occurred at and max stream occurred at as started at as ended at. And then we have to group by 1, 2, 3, 4. What does this query give us? What does that look like? Ah, we can't. Yeah, sorry. This should work though. Okay. Raider. Maddie's son. But that hasn't done it for the whole thing. It's just done one row. Did you get the eGPU because the stuff looks smooth? I did indeed, Dust. I did indeed. So I ended up going with the Razer Core X and the 6600 XT, which is very, very beefy. I was showing at the beginning of stream, Dust, that with stream running and everything, it's not even using 20% of the graphics card, and that's with 2 displays attached to it as well. So I'm really keen to find out more about putting a capture card in it. So I previously had really let me just switch out of this. I previously had issues with capturing gameplay from my Switch, because I put the capture card in my Mac and then there was so much input lag. But I think now with that, I really have to try it still. I haven't tried it yet. I have to put the capture card in the HDMI port in the eGPU. I think that might actually not have any capture lag. Because even stuff like my webcam that had capture lag before doesn't have anymore, purely because I've offloaded all the processing to the graphics card, like the actual physical one outside my machine. So it's kind of nuts. It makes a real difference. The offloading is real. The servers are real. The fans are real. Yeah. I mean, it was an expensive investment, but like I said earlier, I love that triggered. Like I said earlier, the peace of mind in knowing that everything is running smoothly is worth way more than the money can buy. Like, I'm really getting so much value out of it by knowing that everything is just buttery smooth, and I don't have to worry about weird lag, desync issues and all that kind of stuff. There is camera audio lag. So I have an offset on my microphone, and it's possible that I may have to adjust it. If I watch my stream back and it's a little bit off, I'm probably going to adjust it. But I think it should be reasonable. No one said anything until now, so it should be pretty accurate. Because like before, when the camera was being captured before, I didn't really change anything in terms of the camera, and it didn't really have issues with the camera processing. It was more everything else processing on top of it, let's put. Cool, Alan, thanks. Yeah, I think now is probably a good time to wrap things up, because I need to wrap my head around this again. Again. And it's just too hot, chat. It's just too hot. Need to give my body a break. Yeah. Title of your sex tape, in case anyone wanted to make that beautiful Brooklyn Nine-Nine joke. So I think what we'll do is we'll wrap up and go raid someone. Let's see who's around. And let's wrap things up. And as usual, we'll go like this. Ah, my patrons overlay disappeared. Ah, that is very, very, very unfortunate. I had an overlay and I had to reinstall OBS. I had to rejig OBS from a... I see, and I had the text directly in OBS and not an overlay in Stream Elements, and so it's gone. That's very unfortunate. Anyhow, thank you to my patrons, Taylor and Shoban, if I'm saying the name correctly. We need a darker background because I can't read this. And yeah, I think it's time for us to go raid someone else. But in the meantime, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who showed up today after me not streaming for a week. It's always nice to see everyone again. The plan is to stream again on Friday, as we do. So thank you to all of my new subscribers, or I should say people who subscribed again. White Panther, Jens, who subscribed new, and Irish Beats, thank you very much. To my new followers, Shredark, Bernard XF, Rick Lowe, Monsieur B, and Jens. Thank you for those follows. And thank you to Ian and Rugmat for the bits cheering. Let's see, who are we going to go take a look at today? Ah, here we go. You want data stuff, chat? You're getting all the data stuff today. We're going to go visit our friend, Data Nerd Zero. So I look forward to seeing you all. Look forward to seeing everyone on Friday. And have a good time in Data Nerd's stream. I think you'll find it. I think you'll find it pretty cool. He's a pretty chill guy. So see you on Friday. Bye.